All right, here we are at the pre-race press conference with George Hincapie. George, Discovery obviously bringing an incredibly stacked team, half the tour squad. Can you tell me a little bit about what that's like? Does it make a relaxed environment because you know you've got so many options? Is there any kind of like tension at all because so many guys can win that there's not a clear leader? What is that like within the team?
We definitely have a strong team. I don't think that Alberto and Papo and the other tour guys are in that great a shape. I mean, they've had a tough season. Alberto's been doing criteriums. Benjamin's been taking it easy. Had a couple of bad crashes since the tour. So, I don't think these guys are in tour condition right now. Obviously, Levi's going good. I think I'm going pretty good. So we have a good team, but I don't think there'll be any problems as who wants to win or who doesn't.
Well, that was going to be the next thing I ask. You showed last weekend in your hometown, Greenville, that you're fit, you're on form, and obviously you talked about in the press conference here that the World Championships is a goal. So, are we going to see you flying at this race? Are you still kind of ramping up for Worlds, and where do you see your fitness?
It's tough. I mean, normally I'm not racing this time of year. I go for the classics in the spring and then shut her down after, September. But like you said earlier, I was feeling good last weekend, and the Worlds have been on my mind a lot since I broke my hand in California. So I'm here mainly to just keep the legs rolling. If I see the opportunity to win this race, I'd love to win it. But the main goal is the World Championships.
Sure. I thought it was interesting what you were saying in the press conference too. That initially people maybe looked at this course profile and thought, there's no categorized climbs. But you brought up an interesting point that a race with wind and rolling hills makes it that much harder to control.
Definitely. I mean, it could be even harder than big mountains just because you're always on the pedals. When you have flat terrain, you always got to pedal. You always got to be conscious of where you're at. With the wind, could be very stressful, and lots of dangerous situations, which I enjoy. I mean, it's like racing in Belgium. You're always wondering where you are, and a lot of these guys are not used to racing in that sort of condition. So, if that's the situation, and there are a lot of crosswinds, and there are a lot of open fields, then you could see a very wide open race.
You said you're not super familiar with each stage and all the courses, but have you had a chance to look at the start list? And were there any names that popped off the list? Anybody that the team will be watching specifically?
I haven't looked at the start list. This time of year, start lists don't really matter. It's who's got the motivation and who comes here to race or who's just forced here to come by their team because they need riders to race the race. September is a tough time of the year. I'm here to definitely race my bike, hopefully do well, and hopefully have a good Worlds.
All right, George, thanks.
All right, thanks, Neil.